My name is Joshua Yirkovsky. I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, but I was raised in Navy. So I claim Florida as home. Graduated in high school in Jacksonville, Florida, many moons ago. And shortly after that, I joined the military. And I'm still currently active duty. We're coming up on we passed 21 years. And I'm on my way out the door here shortly. And I decided to hit the ground running preemptively on a couple of organizations that I felt that were in need. And that's where we are here today. So, yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Angel Force Foundation, if we can kick that off. Angel Force Foundation, I like to say, is the little baby sister to Angel Force Protection. Now, Angel Force Protection, just a little backstory about that, is it's a for-profit organization. Angel Force Protection is. It's an LLC. It was established in April of last year. And the derivative behind it and how it really was founded is because I had the principal call the police on me one day. And obviously a miscommunication. I always get those eyebrow raises, but a miscommunication. And ultimately it was some homeless trying to get into the school that my boys were at, and I was in the car lane waiting to pick up my boys. Well, it was under the impression that that individual that couldn't get into the school, that really wanted to, it looked like they got in the back of my car. And they didn't. But that was the impression. And so, naturally, the principal decided that she wanted to take action because we had family members coming to pick up children. And there was a said individual, supposedly, in the back of my car. Or in the back of a car, unrecognized. So, moving forward, police came eventually, and the teacher come running out and said, this is Mr. Yirkovsky. His kids come here. And obviously misunderstanding, but it triggered a couple of things. It triggered one, that my school that I sent my kids to did not have protection at all. And that really hit home that night. So the next day I went to Miss Principal and I said, would you mind if I come and protect the kids? My kids, you, and the other children here. And she said, I would love that. And then that night, I said, well, that's not going to do because there's a lot of schools out there that have this issue. And so I started my LLC that day. I applied for it, I should say. And fast forward a few months, I was getting a lot of kickback because it's a for-profit organization. I wanted to put veterans in the schools. I had to vet them properly. I had to do what I needed to do, and it had to be a for-profit that way, okay? And so I was getting a lot of pushback from the community, from the state, almost everybody, because it was a for-profit, and it was very difficult for me to get grants to help with the process. It was very difficult for me to get any kind of help, essentially, with it, and support, because under the impression it was essentially another security company that was going to feed money. You know what I mean? Which wasn't the case at all. Obviously, still active duty. I don't need that kind of stuff. I just want to protect the kids. So, my wife and I in Orlando decided we wanted to start a nonprofit called Angel Force Foundation, and we did that in July of last year. And the nonprofit is absolutely beautiful. It's running very well. It's still new, it's still green, we're learning. But that nonprofit is really founded on, first, protecting children, allowing the children to be able to have their ability to be educated in and I don't like the word community, it's being used too much, I use the word village. But in a village like ours, it takes a village to raise a child. That's kind of, what we're trying to get back to. We're trying to get it back to where our children are comfortable, not only in school, but within the village. And we're utilizing that by taking the wisdom and the knowledge and the professionalism of veterans, but not only veterans. I just had a ball called the Hometown Heroes Winter Ball recently, and it was in honor of our hometown heroes, so our first responders and our veterans. And all the proceeds that came from that went to schools, is to going to schools to protect them, whether it's build fences, signage, any way and shape or form to be able to solidify the protection of a school. Now, we also, like I said, use the wisdom of the first responders. We also use the wisdom of councilmen, mayor advisors, mayors, teachers, educators, facilitators, the entire village itself. So anybody that's willing to take a step forward with us and help us get to the point where we were back when I was being raised, where the street lights came on, and that's when we went home. Now you can't do that anymore. That sense of village safety is almost long gone, a thing of the past. So Angel Force Foundation is utilizing the proper resources that we still have currently before they're gone to be able to help our children. Now, this won't be a overnight thing. This is going to take us maybe even a couple of decades. But the goal is to get it to where these children don't have to worry about their kids going outside and playing until the streetlights come on. They can let them do that on their own like we used to. So in a nutshell, that's Angel Force Foundation.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. How many schools are you in now?
Well, currently, for my for-profit, which is Angel Force Protection, we have 2 schools. Rocky Valley Christian School up here at the Crestview campus. We're also at Jubilee Christian Academy, which is in Escambia County. And then we just shook hands with Lighthouse Christian Schools, all 4 campuses, including the college. And we have a few more that we're working on before the beginning of next school year. And we're also looking at expanding into District 2 and 3. We're looking at expanding into southern part of Florida and also other schools. Now, that's my for-profit. My nonprofit, our nonprofit, I should say, Angel Force Foundation, is dabbling into any possible school or opportunity we can to help with that. We are going to be holding educational classes very soon, leadership training classes for children, ages 7 all the way up to 18. And then we're also going to be implementing leadership classes as well as many other types of classes for facilitators and for first responders and anybody who would really like to want to come in and learn. So we're kind of a little bit everywhere. Sorry, long answer, but that's...
Are you working at all in the public school sectors?
I have reached out a few times to try to get Angel Force Foundation into the public sector. It hasn't been very easy for me, but I believe when we start initiating these classes soon, they're going to come to us, and be able to utilize us to help with the education of what we're going to be implementing. Now, my for-profit, it can't go to the public sector. Angel Force Protection is just by law can't, because it's essentially dictated by the state. So the state provides, obviously the school district on the public sector, and then that is now, handled by the sheriff's department and how that works. And so absolutely nothing wrong with that, but my nonprofit, that's another reason why it was established, is so that we could help mitigate, any kind of conflicts or issues that the public sector might have with this. And it gives us the opportunity and a platform to be able to utilize that.
When you're working with students, you said you were educating and training some students. What are you training them for? What are they learning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So the good thing is we have the ability to kind of, dig into the intricacies of what the school is lacking in, just based off of a historical trend or something that's happening, throughout the nation. And so we usually try to keep our education lined up with those values, not only the school values that they have themselves, but the values that the nation and Congress and the government has implemented, as well as many other things. So when we educate, a lot of the times it's a very general, back to the basics of a facilitation of, like I say, leadership. We talk about things like, you know, security issues or an awareness within the village. Within the village, as far as what you can and cannot do, what you should not be looking for, things like that. You know, sky's the limit on this. If I have you know, a member of the council that wants to come to me and say, "Hey, Josh, I'd like to utilize Angel Force Foundation to be able to educate on certain things," you know what I mean, within our village, to help these children understand the basics of coming back into, and it's really hard to say, but common sense, you know, and giving that opportunity to a child that may not have that opportunity at home, you know what I mean, and being educated by maybe their own parents. And so we're allowing that opportunity. Many things we can.
Well, I was just curious about our Hope Squad and our Key Club kids. I think the Hope Squad, I mean, they're learning about watching for safety and mental health of their peers, and I think this might work well with that, as
Sure.
well as our Key Club kids, you know, I mean, they're young leaders.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be something that we might, as a Kiwanis group, could help
Yes, ma'am.
maybe put those pieces together. I'll get
Absolutely.
your contact information on that.
Yes, ma'am. A step forward in this whole process. I have zero issues with collaborating with any other organizations that's going to get us to that point. I see a lot of situations where it's not available, but yes, thank you. I'll definitely would love to do that.
Let me get your contact information before.
Sure.
Do you have business cards?
I do. I have a business card over here. I'll get you one for sure. We have, you know, obviously www.angelforcefoundation.org. You can check us out there, and that has all of my contact information in there. But I'm extremely transparent with everything, social media, you name it. I have no problem giving you my number and like I said, making a step forward. So I'll get that too. Yes.
What was the other, besides Rocky Bayou, I missed the second school?
Jubilee Christian Academy
Jubilee.
out of Escambia County, yes.
Lighthouse, yeah, it was in Escambia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Roy. Did you have any?
I got a couple things. First off, appreciate you sticking in with the profit side of it and understanding that, you know, sometimes people have a misconception.
Sure.
There's a lot of businesses that are for profit that never make a profit, and a lot of nonprofits that somehow seem to make a lot of money. So it's just a tax designation when it comes down to it. It really has to do more with the heart of the people that are behind the mission. And obviously, I met you before. I've heard your story. I've heard the mission, and it's a shame that that's how it works sometimes. But I'm glad you found a way to make it work for you guys. So that's great. But quick question: do you guys ever? I know you're not allowed to work with like the county schools, but do you ever look at maybe working with different cities, different counties, different private youth sports programs? As we know, violence is an issue in youth sports, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's a soft target as well. And there has been issues with that. I think recently, even in Pensacola, Escambia County, there was some shooting over there. And as somebody who interacts with a lot of youth in the area, that's probably one of the softest targets. Unfortunately, they don't have fences around. It's usually just the parents.
Sure.
Have you ever thought about that or reached out to anybody like that?
So as far as thinking about the youth sports, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm glad that you brought that up because we do work with the city and with Crestview Main Street Association, City of Crestview recently with the Mardi Gras Parade. And what we're doing is we're helping with crowd control. We don't have arrest authority. We're not out there to try to arrest anybody or try to get anybody in trouble or anything like that. What we're trying to do is we're, again, utilizing these veterans and first responders that could go and take their off time or their time, valuable time and knowledge, professionalism, wisdom, and go out there and help. So we have not connected with that, but there, like I said, sky is the limit. I would be absolutely willing to come out and get the team on board and get those volunteers and that help and that assistance to be able to mitigate any kind of issues that children's youth sports might have. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know most cities, most parks, most of any decent size, you usually have, coaches meetings or, team mom meetings or whatever. And those are the type of situations where for the most part, most people show up and you can at least, have a conversation with them. But I think that'd be another avenue.
Beautiful.
Just, foundation, private side.
Sure.
As far as your recruitment for the profit side, are you working with the actual, like on base or the 7 Special Forces? Are you working with them, saying, hey, you guys have any, spare time or anything like that?
Yeah, so the good thing is word of mouth is amazing. And so usually how I have vetted my angel guards that are actually in the school protecting kids, the vet process is extreme. And so then what usually happens is, because of that word of mouth, you get similar type individuals that want to come help, that want to be a part of the organization. Essentially they sign the bottom line to defend the freedom of the country. Now that's our veterans and our first responders. And really, it's as simple as taking a piece of paper and saying, hey, sign the bottom line and defend the future of the country. And that's our little kiddos. You know what I mean? So I haven't really dove in to trying to get established on base just because I'm still active duty. And however, there are things and resources like SkillBridge, which I'm utilizing myself, that I cannot wait to get Angel Force Protection implemented in. And then also to be able to collaborate with, the bases, military spouses, really getting into that veteran community and trying to help them with their transition, like myself, from active duty 21 years into this civilian sector that I'm just oblivious to. And so, yes, we have an idea of trying to get there, but I am more than welcome to listen to anybody as far as getting some more knowledge about how to get there better,
Wonderful. And I, as a member of the community, I appreciate you helping with the Mardi Gras, just having more people. Because honestly, when people decide they want to do something wrong, they look around, and if there's a lot of people standing around looking around,
Sure.
they're more likely to not bother.
That's
so
right.
Sometimes it's just having more people there, more boots, people paying attention to what's
That's right.
going on. Because when you're enjoying, the Mardi Gras celebrations or anything else on Main Street, or your kids playing, you're not looking over your shoulder. So if somebody else is doing that, that's great.
Sure,
So thank
yeah.
you.
Presence, beautiful.